start off again quickly with blanket thank yous to everyone. I have a lot to cover, so I'm going to dive right in here. For this speech, I'm going to take a step back and really just look at the voters and weighing issues of this round, or rather what you as judges should be looking at to decide who wins this round. First, I'm going to talk about the issue of the judging criteria, then saying that this must be relevant to the House. And this is true, it must be relevant to the House's presenting in this debate. However, as said in our redefinition, that we're not only having the House of the Taliban talk about it, but also the House of general morals, ethics, and just a general, broader, unbiased view of the war. So this is still biased. This is still relevant to the House. Again, they did not contest that the House that we propose should not be used in this debate, and therefore this House stands alongside with the House of the Taliban. We must look at the superior values and number, as in number of people affected and why these people are being affected. So again, this is on topic. This is under the judging criteria of fitting the Houses. So our first voting criteria is, again, just the sheer number of people affected. The real number that the proposition team was getting was mainly the soldiers that want to die to go to heaven and the people in power who want to remain in power. Now, they're saying that a couple thousand soldiers who are signing up for this because they want to go to heaven for fighting for their country. But you have to compare this to the thousands of not only Afghanistan who we impact their soldiers as well, but also the U.S. soldiers and the thousands of civilians that are being killed at a much higher rate than the actual people fighting the war. So again, this is the couple thousand soldiers on their side, and those soldiers plus the U.S. soldiers plus thousands of civilians being killed. You can tell just by the sheer number of people being affected that the opposition's team value and impact as far as number of people affected is much higher than the proposition's team. The next criteria is general values. Theirs being the propositions seeming to be of pride and power and to help themselves. The government saying we want ourselves to be in power. Now, every government, even every person wants their side to win, wants themselves to be right, wants themselves to be in power. You can't just say this group believes they're right, so they win. This is not how the world works. You must look at everyone that is affected, and the proposition has not shown how these thousands of lost lives justify this one group getting their way. And really, this is what it comes down to, the lives affected versus a group getting their way. They have not shown how this one government getting their way is a bigger impact. Obviously, these lives lost, lives affected that never asked to be affected, being harmed, hurt, and taken away is much bigger than one group thinking they're right. And again, the proposition never showed how all these lives lost is less than winning, or even shown how their winning, their pride, is bigger than these thousands of lives lost. They simply said, we want these benefits. They never showed how their benefits were better than our benefits. And again, they have shown nothing to weigh it by, and as you can see, it's very obvious. Next is they're saying, next we're going to look at, basically which side helps Afghanistan more. The proposition wants the Taliban to take power, basically for them to be in power and, as they said, to keep their country safe. However, if you look at it, keeping this group in power and trying to win this war and pushing back, fighting more and more, it's going to cause hostility, it's going to cause rivalry, it's going to cause war, it's going to cause future attacks. These are people in the future, people who haven't even been born yet, who are going to be affected by this. Not just, again, the soldiers who want to get to heaven by fighting their fight. And they said they were the ones that brought up safety, and as you can see, their side is against the safety of the nation. What this debate comes down to really is the superiority and basically the weight of the values. Again, look closely at who is affected by it. On the propositions teams, they have the Taliban that is effective. They have the people who want themselves to be in power, getting their power and getting their pride. They haven't talked about any of the civilians. They haven't talked about the future. They haven't talked about how this impacts the U.S. Only this one group of people wanting their way. And again, nowhere in their previous two speeches have they talked about, their civilians other than they want to keep it safe. But we've shown how their plan does not keep the world safe. It does not keep this country safe. As opposed to the opposition, we're affecting their soldiers, we're affecting the U.S. soldiers, we're affecting all the civilians, we're affecting future generations. As you can see, the impacts of these of these voting issues are much higher. For these reasons, vote for the opposition team.